the last study we did related to this was the economic evaluation. So, one of the barriers that was addressed was the financial costs. So the question is, do electronic systems actually cost more than if you're using, hybrid systems? And so what we did was we projected 5-year costs because it's, if you just look at the first year, electronic systems, you're spending all this money to buy the equipment. So of course it's going to cost more. But the equipment will last you more than just that year. You can actually use it for a few more years. And so we decided to look, with a 5-year time horizon, what are the costs for the electronic systems compared to hybrid? So what we did was here, we got data from Ontario Public Health Units. So 6 health units provided equipment and staffing costs during the pandemic. And they also provided staffing algorithms for their seasonal campaigns. And so we came up with 3 hypothetical populations, so 100,000, 500,000, and 1 million. And we standardized the resources to those 3 population sizes. And then we made the assumptions that public health campaigns would vaccinate 18% during pandemic, 18% of the population during the pandemic, and only 2.5% during seasonal campaigns, which is what happens in Ontario because physicians do most of the vaccinating during seasonal campaigns. And then we had 2 scenarios. So year 1 was where we had a pandemic year and then 4 seasonal campaigns. And then in scenario 2, we had 5 seasonal campaigns. So the health units that didn't bring in an electronic system during the pandemic year could still use this to guide, would it still be worth it if we just brought it in for seasonal campaigns. And so this is a table that just shows some of the costs the inputs that went into our economic model. And so we included things like, a lot of equipment costs, for all the, computer-related equipment, some printing stuff, miscellaneous laptops, et cetera. And then for the staff costs, we included nursing staff, that was a big thing, clerical or registration staff, and then also IT personnel. And so we had these were the base costs, and then we, did sensitivity analyses with these ranges. And so the results show that, what we have here is the 3 hypothetical population sizes, and we have the equipment costs and staffing costs, and we break it down to electronic versus the hybrid systems. And so you can see that the electronic systems cost more than the hybrid systems in terms of equipment. So 75,000 versus 7,000 for this size of a population. But the staffing costs are similar but higher in the hybrid system compared to electronic because they generally spend more time collecting data and the processes take a little bit more time. And so, but when you add up the total costs for the electronic system, it actually comes out a little bit cheaper than the hybrid system. So it would be, if a health unit were to bring in an electronic system, they'd actually save about $1,000 with pandemic in year 1 and then 4 seasonal. And based on a per capita, it's very small, but then it gets these per capita differences get bigger with the increasing size of the health unit. And so the savings go up with the size of the health unit. And then in the second scenario where we compare 5 seasonal campaigns, you can still see that there's cost savings with introducing an electronic system compared to using a hybrid system. Okay. So in conclusion, based on our pandemic data collection study, in comparing the electronic and hybrid systems, we found that frontline staff spent, time spent per client for electronic systems was less than with hybrid systems because of significantly shorter client registration and record-keeping times. That frontline staff perceptions, showed the high acceptability for both methods. So they're satisfied with either method, regardless, it doesn't matter how novel it is, they're still satisfied with it. And in terms of costs, that the projected costs over a 5-year period for fully electronic systems are comparable or are less expensive than for hybrid systems. So if at the end of the day, your goal is to have the data in an electronic format, you're better off introducing a fully electronic system than a hybrid system.